Hi, I'm Orly Lax, and I head up the legal team for SS&C's alternative assets business. And today I'm just going to give a brief overview about GDPR and how SS&C has tackled GDPR. So GDPR stands for the General Data Protection Regulation that comes into effect on May 25th, 2018. It's an EU data privacy regulation, but while it's an EU regulation, because of its broad territorial reach, it probably will apply to many organizations that are even outside of the EU. GDPR has two components to it. You're either a controller or a processor. A controller is an organization that interfaces with an underlying client and gets the data from the data subjects. A processor acts on the instructions of the controller, and they are the organization that either processes, manages, and stores the data on behalf of the controller. For the most part at SS&C, as a business provider, we are deemed a processor. When SS&C looked at GDPR, we really took this head on, and after thorough analysis, we concluded that we were going to roll out GDPR as our global benchmark from a data privacy perspective. We have mobilized a GDPR task force that has representatives from legal, our information security team, our IT team, our HR, marketing, and sales. It's a very broad task force with different representatives. We broke down our GDPR compliance program into 4 buckets. The first bucket was our data mapping exercise. Our second bucket is the gap analysis. The third, policies and procedures. And our last bucket is training. As it relates to the first bucket, which took us about 6 months to complete, was our data mapping exercise. And that was a detailed assessment of all of our systems, our applications, whereby we mapped it out and we fully understood what kind of data was in those portals, who had access to it, what controls we had in place, what was the retention policy, where were the data servers based out of, what kind of encryption we had in place. And after we mapped all of that out for 200 plus products and systems, we then underwent a gap analysis and understanding what controls we had in place in terms of the access controls as well as encryption, and understanding what kind of processing took place with respect to those portals. We assessed whether we were able to enhance those controls per GDPR standards. And that is almost complete for the most part. The third bucket is we had to bring our policies and procedures up to speed with GDPR. And we now have updated our privacy policy, our retention policy, we have a new subject access report policy, and we've also enhanced our confidential incident breach procedure. The last part of our GDPR compliance program was training, and that was an important piece to us. And we rolled out GDPR training as a mandatory training to all of our employees, regardless whether that employee was in the EU or outside the EU, regardless if that employee was processing data of an EU data subject. Because we have used GDPR as our benchmark from a data privacy perspective, all employees were subject to GDPR. And we broke out our training in 2 different parts. The first part was a general educational overview as to what GDPR, and the second part was more specific as to how GDPR impacts what we do every day as a data processor. And we're feeling good about things, and we're ready for GDPR. Thank you.